Welcome to Global AI Online Tour Pune 2020. Myself, Dhruvin Shah. This is the pre-recorded session which I am going to represent to my live session just for your reference. In this session, I am going to discuss about one of the important component of Power Platform, which is entity extraction. So here, I am going to discuss about how we can perform entity extraction for your business data. Before we start, let me give you some introduction about myself. Myself Dhruvin Shah, and I am working as Power Platform Specialist and Office 365 developer in one of the reputed company at Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I am an active blogger and YouTuber having 100 plus articles and 300 plus tech videos, and I am rewarded with 3 times C# Corner MVP award. You can reach me out on my email, LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook account over here. I'm going to provide you the link of my YouTube channel at the end of this session, so stay connected with me till end of this session. Now, coming over to the agenda of this session. So in this session, I'm going to cover, first we will talk about what is entity extraction AI model and how it is useful in our day-to-day life. After that, we are going to prepare CDS model for our entity extraction model. This is the optional step. Maybe or may not be you have the CDS model in your system, so you can skip this step based on your requirement. Third step that we are going to perform is we are going to build entity extraction AI model. After that, we are going to train, build and publish our entity extraction AI model. And at last, we are consuming our published AI model inside the Power Apps using Power Automate. So this is the overall agenda for this session. As this is the lightning session of 30 minutes, maybe few of the steps may be fast forward, but you will be having the detailed information about this session inside in part of series on my YouTube channel. So requesting you to visit my YouTube channel for that, for step-by-step series of this particular entity extraction. So now let's get started. Now, first of all, let me explain you what is entity extraction AI model. So in a simple word, I can say that any organization receives lots of tons of data every day. The data can be in any form. It can be either in a form of an email or in a form of a chat. But every time it is not possible that every data is useful for your business need. Only specific data from those entire email or entire chat messages would be helpful for further analysis. So AI builder entity extraction, what it do is it will recognize the data from the provided text and it will transform those unstructured data to the structured data that we can use for the further analysis. Now, I know this is the theoretical concept. Now, let me explain you with the help of practical example by taking one of the real life use cases. Let's consider an example of one of the HR agency or a HR portal. Recruitment agency receive lots of candidate information in a form of an email or in a form of a chat window. Their business model will not require only their business model will require only specific values from the unstructured data that they have received. So entity extraction AI builder recognize the useful information from the data and convert them to structured machine readable data. So that is the main purpose of this entity extraction AI model. Now let me explain you some sample. Let's say for an example, recruitment agency receiving this type of message from my side. Like I explained my description, like myself Dhruvin Shah, I had experience of 5 years in as a Power Platform specialist. I'm living in India and I can connect you, or you can connect me on my email address like this. My relationship status is this one and my birthday is this one. So basically what entity extraction AI model did here is, let's say for an example, it detected my person name. uh, so from this particular example, which are the useful fields that you find? So the useful field are the name of a person, the experience that they have, the position, country, then their email address, relationship status and birthday. So these are the important entities that we can derive from this particular statement. Yep. So entity extraction model will do like this. So first of all, before we start, let me explain you what we are going to achieve at the end of this session. Now let me show you the power ups that we are going to prepare at the end of this session. So follow all the steps properly. So let's say for an example, here I am adding a content like this. Let's say for an example, let me add a content. this type of statement I added. So what my Power Apps do is backendly it will call my Power Automate flow and it will extract the entities from there and it will populate those entity into pre-populated SharePoint form and user can hit save and convert those unstructured data to the structured data. Alright, so this is something that I am going to show you at the end of this session. Now come towards my PowerPoint presentation. Before we start, we need to consider few points over here. The first thing that we need to consider here is this entity extraction AI model will support CDS data service at this moment. It supports English, Chinese, French, German, Italian and Portuguese language. The length of the document should not be exceeding more than 5,000 characters. And you need to provide at least 10 examples for your data to train your model. So these are some important points that we need to consider. Now let's move with the first step to prepare with the CDS model. This step is optional. If you already have CDS model, you can proceed with the second step. But let me show you that thing very quickly to you. So first of all, what we need to do here is let me move over to my Power Apps screen. So first of all, for that, to create the new entity, what you need to do here is you need to go to web.powerapps.com, click on data. That will open the entity section. Now from entity, click on get data option. Once you click on get data, it will open the pop-up like this. Click on Excel. Once you open the Excel, it will ask for the file path. So just click on OneDrive and just add your path. So after that, it will open this type of Power Query window for you. So once you load the things, it will look like this, and this is the data that I have loaded from the Excel. So basically we need to use first row as header. So just click on first row as header, and after that we just need to change the column type of employee from integer to text. Now click on next. It will open this map entity screen for you. Now here you need to add this as a new entity. So load this to the new entity, give any entity name over here, and from here you just need to provide the primary key, that is my employee data. So I'm selecting this one. Alright, now click on next. That will open the refresh schedule refresh configuration. I'm not clicking this because I already have loaded these entities to my session. Alright, so before we move further, let me show you my data as well. So this is the Excel file that I have uploaded over here, which has the candidate description with their profession. Like candidate name is this one, he's a .NET developer, birth date, relationship status, as well as his email address. So all of this information is showing like this inside the Excel file. Yep, so we have loaded this as an entity, right? So what we need to do here is let me show you the already loaded entities to you. So here I have loaded entity global AI Pune entity. So let me show you that entity. And if you go to the data section and select all fields, you will be seeing the data like this. If you see the data in your entity, that means that you have prepared your entity model properly. Yep. Now let me move over to my next part. That is, we are going to build entity classification, entity extraction AI model. To create the entity extraction model, first of all, what we need to do here is we need to click here on entity extraction. Here you can see we need to provide the name of our AI model. Here are some tips and tricks provided by Microsoft, which is very handy and very useful, like select your data, review and refine, publish your AI model. So these are the steps. These are examples that we need to upload over here, and these are the best practices recommendation which is provided by them. So we already have discussed this thing, like what would be the length, what would be the language supported. It is showing like that. So now let me click on here and let me give a name here as a div06 entity. Now let me just click on create, and it will also show at least provide 10 example as a tip over here. Right now what we need to do here is first of all we need to select the entity that we have uploaded. So I already have uploaded one of the entities over here, so I'm selecting my entity as div03 entity that I already loaded over here. Now from that I need to select candidate description for my entity extraction field. So I'm selecting that one and click on next button over here. You need to select the language. As I told you, this many of languages are supported at this moment. Click on analyze. So these are all the step-by-step procedures, so you can easily follow that, and it's just a UI kind of thing. You don't need any coding skill for that. Anyone can develop it very easily and straightforward. So based on your data, it will take some time to analyze the data. And here it is. it has detected some of the fields automatically over here. So you can see that these are all the out of the box entities which are added automatically. So these are city, country, date, time, duration, email, money, organization, person name. These all are out of the box entities. Now let's say here are also few more entities which is supported at this moment with this AI builder. You can have a look over here. But now business don't require always out of the box entity. So the majority part is came across here. We need to create a custom entity for that, and to do so what we need to do here is we need to click on custom entity. Now what is custom entity? Let's say for an example, this is my sentence. Dhwanit is intelligent PHP developer and his birthday is this one and he is married. Now you can see that here relationship status is something which is custom entity which has not been detected out of the box manner. Same way you can see the designation of each employee is something which has been detected some in a wrong way, but it should be a proper manner. But so that I will create some custom entities over here. So now to create a custom entity, what we need to do here is click on entity name and let's just add our entity like this. Click on position, and now let me add some of the examples over here. So let me add an example. Example can be in anything, and here one tip has been provided that we need to highlight our entity in a curly braces. So let me add entity like this. He is working as a PHP developer. Let me add one more statement like she is working as a SharePoint developer. So these are my designations. Same way, let me add that he is a Power Platform specialist. Let me add that thing. And same way, let me add that he is an Android developer. So let me add that thing. Let's add one more sample like this. Professionally, he is a content writer. So these are the entities. So basically we need to provide 5 samples. Click on create. So that entity has been created. Now we need to create one more entity, that is relationship status. So relationship status is like this. And now here we need to add the different relationship status in the curly braces. Like we can add a sample like he is single, then we can add that he is married. We can add like she is a single mother. We can add like he is unmarried, or we can add as she is single. So it can be any form. So different relationship status I just added. Right now what we need to do here is my entity has been added. Now we need to train our sentences. For that what we need to do here is we need to check few of the sentences, and I would be recommending you to at least train 10 to 15 sentences for the better result. Now here Dhwanit is name, it's not an organization, so let's remove that. PHP in this business model not money, it's a position. So let's select PHP developer as a position. So let's select this and add as a position. Same way he is married. Married is a relationship status. So let's add this. Second statement is this one, that is, so one sentence is trained. Right now here we can say Raj and ASP.NET developer is a not an organization, it is a position. So let's select as position, and he is married, so let's select as relationship status. Same way BI developer is a position, so let's train that thing, and let's add single as a relationship status. Alright, so same way you need to do for around 10 to 11 statements, and it is not necessary that you need to do it for all, but for better result I am recommending this. So same way the similar model I already have, where I have trained around 11 statements of here. Right now we just need to click on next. I hope you will at least train around 8 to 9 sentences. Now here you can see from 11 rows we have selected 3 rows and we have trained this many of entities. Now we just need to click on train button from here, and we just need to click on go to models. So our model is getting trained right now. So now without wasting much time, I'm not wasting many of time over here, like Dave06 entity is something which is being trained. Right now I know I only selected 1 or 2 sentences, so training would not be properly over here. So I already trained one of the models, so let me open that model over here. So basically I have already trained a model dev03 over here. So let me open that dev03 entity. So once our model is trained, we need to try some sentences over here. For that, let's say for an example, let me try one of the sentences like this. Roma Mehra. So I'm adding this random statement. I did not train that as a part of my example. Even if you look at my spreadsheet, I didn't uploaded this data, but still, and position is also something which has not been trained over that, but still it will provide me the proper result. So let me just click on add and let's see what it will find. So Roma Mehra is an intelligent AI developer. So AI developer is detected as a position over here and UK is defined as a country over here. Same way, in my example, let me add one more thing over here about this one. Shantanu is working as chemical engineer. So chemical engineer is something which I haven't added anywhere in my example, but still it will detect the proper position for Shantanu, right? Same way, let me add some of the example like this. Rekha is a single mother. So we haven't added any example for Rekha as a single mother, but it will detect the relationship status as proper here and project manager as a position over here. So these are the two custom entities that is detected perfectly over here, right? So this is how we can prepare our entity extraction model. Now we need to publish this model. So to publish this, what we need to do is, this is something that we just trained, so we just need to click on publish. So it will publish this model. So why publishing is needed? Publishing is needed just because we need to consume that model in Power Apps and Power Automate, so that we need to do that. Now let me move over to my next part, that would be creating a solution for Power Apps and Power Automate. So to do that, first of all we need to go to solution and we just need to click on new solution from here. Once you click on new solution, we just need to provide the name of our solution, dev06. Then we need to select the publisher as default select publisher and click on create. Now once you create a solution, you need to create Power Apps and Power Automate inside that solution. So you just need to create new flow and new Power Apps. I'm not creating again, and if you already have created outside that, you need to add that MS solution as a app or as a flow. So you can follow this thing. Now I already created one of the solution over here. So let me show you that solution. I created one Power Apps and two different flows over here. So let me go with that solution first to you. So basically when you click on this is my entity classification AI model, this is my solution, this is my two flows. So first of all, I created one Power Apps here. I just take one input box and one button over here. On button I am targeting a flow over here and I am performing some business logics of splitting the backend result like this and pre-populating this in a gallery, and after that I am filling the pre-populated form and storing the end result in a SharePoint list. Don't worry, I am providing this code up to my GitHub account. You can directly download from them. Now the most important part of this session is the flow and how to use that flow inside the Power Apps. So first of all, we need to create one parent flow and one child flow. So basically this is my parent flow. It is very simple with the only 4 steps. We just take one variable from Power Apps which take as an input. You need to save this flow and then you need to add child flow. But now let's create child flow. In child flow, I created an action that when HTTP request is received, you just need to add a sample payload. So because it is accepting a text as an input, so basically you just need to add your payload like this, candidate info, and its value you just need to provide like this. So it will create this type of JSON structure for your data. I already did that, so I'm not doing that right now. Same way, we just initialize one variable which will append the text over here. Now the very important action of flow is predict. So basically you just need to, you will have an option AI builder and you will be having a predict action over here. So you just need to select predict action from here. So from here you need to select the model. Now remember I told you to publish the model. So if you haven't published the model, it will not appear over here to you. So div06 entity we have published, so it is showing me here. But at this moment I am using div03 entity and global AI entity over here. So I am using this one. Language, I selected language as English, so I need to provide English as a language. And from text we need to pass the variable that we just created above, that is coming from HTTP request, so that is candidate info. Alright, so I already used this action inside that with the global AI model, so I am removing this model at this moment, removing this model. Now on apply to which, what I will need to do is whatever the result would be there which is received by the predict model, basically we need to add as a key value pair. So here you will be getting two options, response. Let me just quickly remove this and add that for you again. So basically here you will be receiving entity type, so you need to add entity type. Then you just need to add a separator as a pipeline, and you need to add entity value. So basically this value pair will be created like this, and basically this is the first row. Alright, basically we will be getting so many entities from a single statement. So after that, for a separator, what I'm going to do is I'm adding star and pipeline, so it will use this property. And at last we are sending the response over here. So once we send this response, let's move over to the parent flow and add an action, run a child flow. Once you click on run a child flow, it will show the name of your child flow over here, and it will send a response like this. So candidate text is written as a response over here, and after that we need to return that variable to our Power Apps, right? So hope this is clear for you. So basically the flow inform flow will look like the parent flow will be 4 steps, and same way child flow will also have 5 steps, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Yep, let's check go to the Power Apps. All right, so for Power Apps I have added this flow. It is very simple. You just need to go to action and click on Power Automate, so it will allow you to add the code over here, right? So you need to add your code, and its result would be stored in a response type. So whatever the result, let me already show you what would be the collection type. So if you go to the response collection, it will return me a response like this: entity name, entity value, separated by pipeline, and one row will be separated by star and pipeline. So first of all we will perform a split operation with star and pipeline, so it will create a row structure like this: entity and entity values, right? Now we need to convert it to columns, so we will perform more split operation, and it will create a collection like this: entity and entity value and its result. So this is something that I have performed as a logic over here. I know that would be some formulas I have used, like add columns, split operation over here, and I have created a separate video to explain this to explain this split and add columns thing. So you can visit that video, as well as you can go with my step-by-step series in which I have explained this in a very short format. Yep, so it is straightforward, and I am providing this code to you. All right, so after that, first collection is response, second is candidate info, and third is candidate collection, and I am providing candidate entities over here. And here I just take one SharePoint from over here which is hidden at this moment. So let me show you that form. So this is the form, and let me execute this thing for you first, and then we will see how I pre-populated the things over there. So once you click on extract entity, first it will run our flow. So let's check the flow run over here. So let's just test this thing. So here, let me just refresh this one. Let me refresh this one as well. Let's see. So here it is, 15 seconds ago it ran successfully over here. So let's check the run of the flow. So this is the input text that has been passed from Power Apps. It called my child flow. So basically this is my child flow run. Here I just initialize variable. This statement has been passed. The response is showing over here. So appended text would be looking like this: person name, entity value, entity value, right? Like this one. And you will be passing that result to the parent flow as a Power Apps, right? So in Power Apps you will be receiving this response. And same way Power Apps load this data over here. And how did I pre-populate this data over here? So in form, what I did here is I just add one default event over here. So let me go to default, and here it will filter my candidate entities collection and find the person name in entity, and it is showing its value over here. Now let me just go to my SharePoint list and let me just hit save. So it will store this thing to my SharePoint list. Let's just hit refresh over here, and we would be having that entry available over here. So this is how we had converted this unstructured data to the structured data with the help of entity extraction AI model. Hope this is clear for you now. Now, there is a question in your mind that Dhruvin, you can take both the predict action in a single flow. So why did you create two different flows over here? So it is not necessary to create two different flows, but here I faced one limitation, that if we add predict action inside the flow and we use that inside the Power Apps itself, it will throw you error that HTTP request not supported. So for that, what you need to do here is you need to take the predict action in the child flow, so it will not be directly associated with the parent flow, and we will add the parent flow inside the Power Apps. So that's how we can consume the AI builder prediction action inside the Power Apps. So hope this helps you. Hope this is clear for you now. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any updates from my channel. Stay connected with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, and if you wish to receive the daily notification from my channel, just click on this link. It will be redirecting you to this form. Fill the form and you will be receiving daily notification on your WhatsApp number. Stay connected with me. Have a great day. Goodbye.